Hi, and welcome to tonight's Action Coaching Club live coaching call. Lou Dallo, nice to be here with you. Welcome to the call. Tonight we're going to be doing a combination of strategy reviews and coaching, Q&A style coaching. We'll first start with the strategy review sessions, and as you may remember, what these are focused discussions with individual members, up to 20 minutes each, where we're going to try to drill down and we can talk about sales funnels, traffic, lead generation, product creation, some aspect that you're working on. And by the way, let's focus and narrow down on something that is really important for you to move forward on, because obviously we could be talking about your entire business, but we won't have time to do that. So I'm going to ask you, if you're one of the people that it has a spot reserved, just really get clear on what it is that is going to help you the most here. Is it going to be talking about the lead gen, the opt-in, the list building, the product creation, or the sales funnel, or if you want an opt-in page or sales letter reviewed or something like that? Okay, so think about that as we're getting ready, and then we will finish with 3 people. We have 3 folks reserved for that, and hopefully there'll be a little bit of time left over. If we take about 20 minutes each, we should be done in about an hour, and then we should have about 25 or 30 minutes left for general Q&A coaching, as well as a visit to the mailbag if there's time left for that. So the strategy reviews, we're going to have Trevor up first, then followed by Jane around 8:25 or 8:30. And then Ulrika will close off the strategy reviews. If you are here, I see Trevor is here. If you are here, Jane, if you are here, Ulrika, please type something in the GoToWebinar control box so that I know that you're ready to go. And hello, Pam. And Trevor, please raise your hand with the *2 if you would, and I'll open your line. Welcome, Trevor.
Hi, Lou.
How are you, my friend?
Fine, thank you.
Okay, good to have you here. So let's go over and visit your site and see what we can. What specifically you said you'd like to get feedback on this? Any particular kind of feedback that you're looking for?
Maybe if I share the vision, you can guide me as to where we should start. Essentially, the site, my goal was to have persons come along as a joint venture.
Okay, I'm having trouble hearing you. Are you calling in on Skype or on a cell phone or something?
I'm calling on,
Okay.
not Skype, it's T-Chat. Are you here now? Is it better?
Speak a little bit louder for me if you can, because it's not
Okay.
very clear there.
Okay, the site was set up with the view to get a joint venture partner, someone with a mailing list, because I have no list.
Okay, so this site was designed to attract a joint venture partner?
Right.
Okay.
I actually sent information to a particular partner. I don't want to say the name here, but that's the idea.
Okay, well, when I'm looking at this site, I'm not seeing anything that talks about joint venture partners.
No, it doesn't. No. What it
Okay.
is that we wanted to show the person, the partner, the possibilities. That here's what we would bring to the table in terms of the site. Here are the capabilities that we have. And the intention is that they would then provide the mailing list and some of the coaching.
And what are you providing? You're providing this site.
We're providing the site, the content. There's a e-manual that is developed, a large interactive e-manual.
Okay, where do you explain that?
Here. Go back to the start. Here it is. Scroll down, but there's a...
This one here?
Okay. Right.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And and now you're offering coaching. Okay, so listen. Here's what I'm getting from this. So is your question about joint venture partners then, and how to attract them, or is your question about is this site useful for your clients?
Okay, it's sort of twofold, but I have to be careful because of the time that I have here. The bottom line would be, were you someone with a large mailing list and, was given to coaching in this area, either dating and relationships or health and fitness, whatever, those areas, and someone had this platform, would you see them as potential partners? That's one. And the other approach would be, let us say that we didn't have a joint venture partner. Is it possible that we could use this platform to go on our own, attract clients?
Well, frankly, I think this platform is more likely to support you going on your own than it is to attract a joint venture partner. There really is nothing about this site that is designed to attract a joint venture partner in any way, other than perhaps that they can look at this and get a sense of what you do. But I think if you're going to do something for a joint venture partner, in much the same way that when you're thinking about the site that we're looking at now, and you're thinking about helping someone to find their life's purpose, and you're putting information on here that you think is going to be valuable and relevant to them. Well, in that same way, you would want to have a specific web page just for your joint venture partners, where what you're doing is you're selling them, you're addressing their needs in terms of becoming your joint venture partners, because the reason they want to be joint venture partners with you is different than the reason people want to be part of your website. And so they might come here and say, okay, looks kind of interesting, but honestly this doesn't give them the information that they really want to know, which is, if I'm going to promote something to my list, what can you tell me that's going to, number one, convince me, or tell me in a persuasive way that I'm giving something of high quality and high value to my clients. Secondly, what can you show me that says you've done some testing, so that I don't feel like I'm experimenting with my list? In other words, how many of these have you sold? How many when you drive traffic to an opt-in page or to a sales letter, how does it convert? What kind of product is it? Who buys it? How long have you had it? Give me some testimonials, some case studies. You have to remember that if somebody has a fairly large list, they've invested a lot of time and money. That list, as we've talked about here before, is the most valuable business asset that they have. And so for you to then say, hey, I want to capitalize on all the work and all the money you've spent and all the time that you've invested to build the relationship with your list, and by the way, I have no idea, I just came to market with this, I haven't done any testing, I haven't tried to sell it, I don't have a list or anything like that, and nobody knows me and nobody knows my product. That's not a really strong equation for persuasion of the joint venture partner, right? Now,
Clear. Okay.
Now, if you don't have all those, so I guess the first thing that I would say is the best thing that you can do is to promote the product yourself and to build a little bit of a list, because the more social proof you have, the more testimonials, the more numbers that you have that say, hey, every time I bring 100 people to this website, 25% of them opt in and 5% of them buy. That's persuasive to a joint venture partner, right? Because he or she is basically funneling you customers, and they need to have something in return, right? So the very first thing that I want to encourage you to do is to actually promote it yourself and to do some testing and get some numbers and optimize your opt-in pages, optimize your sales process, the whole thing. Now, you don't have to wait. You don't have to wait until you have that all figured out to attract joint venture partners, but you should do it on a continual basis, because the better your numbers and the more that you test, the more reassuring it is to the joint venture partner, because they can see that you've done the work. They're not taking all the risk. The other thing that
Yeah.
you might want to do is also for joint venture partners who are interested, have them give them a sample of whatever it is. So for your key joint venture partners, give them access to your membership site or send them a copy of the ebook or something. Now, before you do that, you probably want to reach out to them personally through some kind of email, so that they're not just getting some random email from some guy they never heard of with an ebook, just another ebook of the thousands that they see all the time. So do a little bit to sort of prepare them to build a relationship, to send an email out to see if they're even interested. And then if they are, you might want to point them to the joint venture page where you can say, here's your complimentary copy. I'd like for you to take a look over it, and then I'll call you in a week to let me know what you think. Tell me if it's a good fit.
Okay, well, I did that. Actually, what I had done, I went in as an affiliate to this contact, and then sent information to say I'd like to do a joint venture. They responded to say send the information. I sent the email with the things you're talking about, the benefits and so on, but as well, and also the book, as well, what I did then was to say, okay, let me build the site so that they could see. Because, but I understand what you're saying, is that my thinking was that I didn't want to go ahead and start to promote, etc., because they might have a different approach, etc., I wanted to be the back end, and they would actually take it as their own and do whatever testing, do whatever they needed to do before they went to market.
But that's not normally, in a joint. But then what are you bringing to the table, really? You're bringing an ebook to the table, but I mean, there's thousands of ebooks, right?
This is a little different.
I'm not denigrating your book by any stretch of the imagination.
No, I understand what you're saying. I understand.
But if you have someone, let's say for example, someone has a big list and they're well known, they're going to get these kind of offers every day. And they cannot possibly. You got to remember that these people, unless they are really professional affiliates, right? And unless they're professional affiliate marketers, which, by the way, if they're professional affiliate marketers, then they will want to make sure that your stuff converts. But most people, they're joint venturing with you, or they're introducing your product to their list, but that's not their main business, right? That's complementary to their business. So why would they put all of that effort into promoting your product when they could put all that effort into promoting their product?
Yep.
Right? So to be a good joint venture partner, you will want to show them that you are a very low risk, high reward kind of partner. In other words, here are the ads that I run, and here's the ones that work best. Here's my sales copy. Here's my sales letter. It converts at 3%. Here's my autoresponder sequence that I put people through. All you have to do is you want to make it so all they have to do is copy and paste an email, push a button, and that's it. And then you become easy to work with, right? And then if your product is good and they like it, it's easy for them to say, sure, I'll just do a call or send an email or whatever, because you've done all the heavy lifting because you're building your business. So I think it's really important. Now, you may find once in a while a partner who says, yeah, no problem, I want to promote this on my own. But generally speaking, people who are going to be able to give you a lot of exposure to a big list, they don't have the time to do the things for themselves to promote your product. So you want to do that for them. The more tools you can give them, the more evidence of success you can give them, the more successful sales funnel you can give them, the easier it is for them to work with you, and the more likely they're going to say yes.
Clear, very clear.
Yeah.
Okay. So I get the message, Lou, and thank you. It's clear to me. All right, can you? I don't know. I might have a few minutes left. Still.
Yeah, just
help me then with the lead generation then.
Yeah. Again, I'm having a little trouble hearing you, so come a little louder if you can, please.
Lead generation.
Okay.
How do I get some traffic?
Well, where do your people? Who is your audience? Who is your target market?
All right. Well, we listed them here. It would be, I suppose, an avatar would be middle-aged executive, someone who is pretty successful. I think that would be the primary person who is having a difficulty in terms of getting meaning out of their life. So they're getting along well, climbing up the ladder, but finding emptiness. That's basically, and it could be either gender.
Okay, so first thing I would say is that this image here is not going to appeal to your typical executive, right? This is more of a family type image, and you might want to think about the theme, like, this kind of background and backdrop. It's a very personal, very sort of life coachy, very family oriented kind of design, right? If you're going to appeal to executives, you probably want images of someone in business, succeeding at a high level, being fulfilled and so on. Probably, think about that in the design, because it's a lovely design, but I think for the avatar that you described, it probably wouldn't resonate, because this doesn't speak to me of an executive. It speaks to me of someone, personally seeking purpose and fulfillment and so on. And maybe in their family or their personal lives or something, and because it's a girl, Su Ling makes this observation, and it's true here. This is going to attract more of the feminine audience, and so you want to look at your executives, and if you think that they're mostly females, then you're probably okay with a woman in the picture. But you may want to consider that if your audience is largely males, you're probably going to have a stronger, more male-focused image there. So that's the first thing I would say about that. And secondly, if you're looking for these executives, my question then would be, so what are they currently reading? Where do they currently go online? What are they currently looking for? What kind of magazines? Are they on Facebook? Are they on LinkedIn? Like, where are they online, or what magazines and advertising do they already consume?
Okay.
Do you know?
Yeah, right. Good.
So also think about if they are members of any associations, or like trade associations, personal development associations, anything like that. Think about the things that they're already consuming in terms of products and in terms of advertising, and those would probably be the areas that I'd be looking to advertise and reaching out to them.
Okay. So you're suggesting paid advertisement then, in other words?
I always like to do the paid advertising is likely going to give you results faster in terms of knowing, reaching people and knowing if your advertising works. If you don't have a budget for that, then what you're going to do is keyword research, and you're going to write articles and blog posts, and maybe get a Facebook page, and all those free advertising methods that we talked about that are going to help you. In fact, I would say, if you look at the action coaching checklist, let me see if I can open it up here for us. Let me just see what I can do here. Okay, build the list, cultivate the relationship.
Build the list, yes.
I think it's coming down the road here.
I have mine up.
Do you? Okay, are you looking somewhere where it should say something about traffic, free traffic and paid traffic? It's probably down the road here. My goodness, there's a lot of good stuff in here, eh? Okay, let's see. Okay, here you go. So this whole thing about SEO traffic, so make sure that your blog is optimized according to this. And then there's some ideas here for free traffic.
Okay.
And let me see, team development, testing. I thought there was, here we go. That's what I was looking for, your traffic checklist.
Okay.
Okay, and just have a look. Here's the paid advertising options, and then here's the free advertising methods.
Okay.
Okay.
So would you suggest that I blog in this website?
Would I suggest what?
Modify. Would you suggest that I blog in this website?
Yeah, I mean, if that's going to be your main site, then that's where you want to blog. You know, wherever it is that you want the executives to find you, that's where you want to blog. So if you change this design to be more businessy, then yeah, blog. Is this a blog or is this just HTML pages now? Is this a blog now, Trevor?
No, not.
Okay, so I'm losing you, so I'm going to have to probably close this.
Blog,
But
right?
yeah, you probably want to make this a blog, and if you don't make this a blog, then you probably want to have a blog somewhere, because and blog regularly, and then also make sure that you copy you post the articles to your social marketing. You know, put a link on Twitter, put the article on your Facebook fan page. You know, post a copy to the articles directory like eZine articles and Go articles. You know, just there's a lot of training. If you look in the members area, we covered, you know, some free traffic strategies. I recommend you go back and look at those videos and see which one of those makes sense. But the main thing is you want to make sure that whatever you're using, it is something that your audience actually uses. In other words, if your audience is on LinkedIn, which usually professionals are more on LinkedIn than they are on Facebook, then you want to learn how to use LinkedIn to reach your audience. If your audience is on Facebook, then you want to use the Facebook strategy, right? So it starts with having a keen awareness of where your audience is and what they're already receiving in terms of product and media marketing, and then you want to just jump on that's already working. Okay, so what I would recommend as your next step here, Trevor, is a couple of things. So one, please, you know, start developing and testing your own sales funnel, test your list building, test your sales conversion, so that you become more interesting and easier to work with for your JV partners. So that would be the number one request I'd make of you. The second one is do a little bit of keyword research to figure out which keywords your audience is likely looking for, and then follow the action coaching checklist for the free traffic. In terms of getting, where did it go here? I don't know where it went to. Had it on the page.
At times I have the checklist.
Right. So you do that, and then the third thing would be, you know, to start putting content out there, freeline content on your blog post, on your Facebook page, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, or you know, wherever it is that it makes sense for your audience to be. Okay, but also don't forget to do the keyword research. Okay, that becomes really important because you want to understand what keywords your audience is looking for. And then the fourth thing I think I mentioned is look around at clubs and associations and, you know, memberships that these people might be a part of, and see then if you can somehow either advertise on their site or contribute content that they can share with their members.
Okay.
Okay?
All right. Right.
Fantastic. Good step.
Thank you.
Do come back and let me know, okay, how things go. Check in and let me know what you're doing, and let me see if I can help you further again next time.
Thank you very much, Lou.
All right, you're welcome. Take care, Trevor.
Bye.
Okay, excellent. We are not too far off on the timing, so that's good. Jane, are you there? There you are. Okay, Jane, press star 2, please, to raise your hand, and I will open your line. Okay, Jane is calling from where? Jane, can you type in the area code or let me know where you're calling from, because I don't see your hand up and I'm not sure how to raise you. I know you're here, I can see you having typed this in, but I do not see your hand raised. Australia. Are you calling in on Skype, Jane, by any chance? You are, okay. So let me see. Jane, is that you? No? Okay. I'm going to ask you this. I'm going to open all the lines. And Jane, I want you to say your name. I just want you to keep saying Jane, 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 so I can see. It's good. Everybody else keep really quiet so that I can see on my board here which one is Jane talking. Okay, Jane, go ahead.
Jane, 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 Jane. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I'm trying to figure out which one you are here. Okay.
Jane, Jane, Jane.
Say it again.
Jane, 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 Jane.
Okay. All right, I think I may have you. Let me see. Okay, is that you? No, that's not you. Hold on. Is that you? No. Can you press *2 on your Skype keypad, Jane? All right, I can't seem to get your hand raised. Okay, so Jane, just go ahead and speak your name. I'm going to open all the lines. There's not many here, so just continue to repeat your name till I find you here, okay?
Jane.
There, I got you.
Jane.
All right, perfect. There you are. You're showing up as...
Can you hear me now?
I can, yes. You're showing up as the letter...
Okay, good.
You're showing up as the letter A on my panel, so I don't know what that means, but there you have it. Okay, great. Glad I got you. So let's have a look here. I'd like to be able to have this is a summary of my plans. First plan. I have an existing accounting practice that I want to turn into an online information business with a resale value of $450,000 by February 2013. The website I now have is taxplanningtips.com.au. I want to build this into a good information commerce site that generates $150K income a year with little input from me. Excellent. And then I want to build a business that helps offline businesses to market their business on the internet. I have a registered domain name. My goals, okay, mini site, lead generation, and sales funnel. Financially, I aim to generate $100K from this business by December. And I have a personal domain and inactive blog. Okay, so what would you like feedback on?
Sorry?
So what would you like feedback on?
So what do I want to do? What? Sorry?
What would you like feedback on? There's a plan 1, plan 2, and the personal domain. So which is the most important for you?
Probably plan 1 first because yeah, I have my existing accounting business. And I want to sell it because at the moment I am in it and I'm not working on it. And I want to turn my knowledge into information products that I can sell online.
Mm-hmm.
And, once I can get that to generate the amount of money that I'm generating now, which is about $150,000 a year, then I can sell it. With the way we calculated is times it by 3, and I can sell the business for $450,000.
Mm-hmm. Are you saying it's generating 150K? Is it generating 150K a year now, or that's where you'd like to get it to?
Well, at the moment, with my active input, which is the one-on-one consultants and all that, yes, I'm making that money now.
Okay.
But not online. I'm not making that money online.
Gotcha. Okay. And so you want to take this, basically turn it into an information products business that's generating this income sort of automatically rather than for you providing the service directly. Is that it?
Correct.
Okay. And what's the relationship between this business and this business?
The relationship between the first business and the second one?
Correct.
Well, I want to build another division because I think that my customers right now are small businesses, and I know that as an accountant, my role seems to be very passive. That after they've already done their trading and all that, then I come in and put that into a statement or report to tell them how much, whether they've done it well or not. I want to take a more active role to help them to market. We'll help them with the marketing because I can see that a lot of small businesses out there are struggling to find customers, and I've got some information about internet marketing, and I want to build it into another division to help small businesses. Okay.
Do you have a team that can help you with some of this, or are you on your own?
I have staff, but at the moment we are not doing it, and I'm thinking of outsourcing a lot of these technical aspects of it. Mm-hmm. But seeing clients at the beginning, I will be the one who see clients and do the marketing for this division at the beginning.
Okay, so are you going to be writing or producing? Are you going to be the content producer for this first business?
Yes.
Okay. And you're going to be the marketer for the second business. Are you going to be producing the content and the programs for the second one as well?
The content and the marketer for the second one
Okay.
as well.
So the first thing that struck me when I saw this is that these are both businesses that are going to take time and attention and money and marketing and strategy and testing and avatar and product creation. And I want to ask you, have you considered the impact of trying to do both of these at the same time?
Well, the reason why I want to do it both, because I can see that one complement the others. I can see that I can see that small business clients out there are struggling with marketing.
Yeah,
So that's
but
something, some sort of services that I can offer them straight away.
well, they have, small businesses are struggling with a lot of things, right? So there are probably, if you thought about it, you could probably put 5, 6, 10 plans like this together, because I'm sure that when you look at a business from the accounting strategy point of view, you could probably say, oh, they need leadership training, or they need strategy training, or they need, financial training, or they need marketing, or they need to know how to get their website up. I mean, there's probably a lot of ways that you can help the companies. Here's where my concern comes in, is that you're building two businesses in parallel, neither one of which you've had a chance to start or test or develop, and so you're kind of testing both at the same time. Now, if you said to me, well, yeah, I'm working on one and I have a partner working on another, or, I'm not really that involved in one, I'm just overseeing it, and there's a team putting it in, and we're outsourcing content, and, that kind of, if you could separate your attention, I would say, okay, it wouldn't be my ideal way to go, but at least, you've got somebody to help you. My concern here is that you're spreading yourself too thin over both businesses, and that you're probably undermining the chance to succeed in either one. Because when you start to develop that information products business, 6 or 7 or 8 times out of 10, the things that we try, they don't quite work, and we have to develop them and test them. And you want to build a list of, say, 10 or 15,000 people. If you want to sell your business for 3 times or even more than 3 times sales, the best thing you can do is have a sustainable business with a huge list, which is a major asset that produces income regularly. In order to do that, it's going to take a fair bit of your time and attention. And if you're then distracted by trying to do the same thing, writing ads and generating leads and doing sales funnels and conversions funnels and creating products and doing testing and so on for a totally different thing, right? It's the same company, the same lead, the same prospect, but your deliverable is radically different. So information about tax planning is radically different in terms of than information about social marketing. If you're wanting to do both of these, my recommendation would be not to do them yourself, to build out a team and see if you can get someone else to work on them in parallel, because I think this has the high probability of diluting your attention considerably, and it probably is going to make you move much more slowly on both fronts, and not just like half the time. You think you're going to do 50-50, it's probably going to end up that's going to take you 3 to 4 times as long if you're successful at all. So my recommendation would be, choose the one that you think has the greatest chance of success, that is your biggest, most interesting passion, the one that you could think you can build the fastest, and then build that first. And when it's running and it's producing income and it's reached the goals that you want for it, and you can outsource the thing so it runs on its own and so on, then you might want to try the second business. Now, I don't know if plan 1 or plan 2 is a higher priority for you, but my encouragement to you would be to consider doing them in sequence, unless you can build a team to do them in parallel.
Right. I really appreciate your opinions there. Now, one step further is maybe you can help me to clarify a little bit about which one I should go. With that existing accounting tax planning business, that's my bread and butter money. My real passion is actually in the second one with internet marketing, because I can see the potential there. The first one gives me money straight away, and I need that money to keep things going. The second one is where my passion is. So how do I go about clarifying my
So the way that I normally recommend it, and different people have different ways of approaching this, right? So I'll just sort of tell you my perspective on it, and you can see how it resonates with you. But there's a thing. Are you familiar with the term wing walking?
Wing locking.
Wing walking. Do you ever go to like an airline? What do they call it? An aerobatics show, and they have that plane that has the wing. They call it the biplane. It has sort of a wing on the top and the bottom of the cockpit, and it goes across the plane. And then occasionally they have somebody that walks on the wing of the plane. You ever seen that?
No.
Okay, so imagine a plane in the air and it's flying along, and then there's somebody walking along the wing from one side of the plane to the other, right? And they have this rule in wing walking that says don't let go of the strut behind you until you have got hold of the strut in front of you.
Right.
Right? And in other words, don't let go of the last one that is your lifeline, because if you happen not to catch the next one, you're going to be tossed off the wing to your death. And so I take the wing walking approach towards starting new businesses. I like the idea that you're going to work on business one until it's generating sustainable income automatically. It is your bread and butter. It's established. You know the business. You know how to generate income. Now, if you spend a little bit of time, creating new income streams from information products and then automating that and getting it ready to sell, that you can start to do the research, do some basic testing, hire somebody to do some marketing and some list development on the other one. But I would not let go of something that is absolutely working and that you know very well and that you know how to make money in and that you've been making money and you have established reputation and clients and all that kind of thing. The 1 out of 10 people, maybe 1 out of 100, get to the point where they can actually create a business with real live customers that generates real live cash, and you've got that. So I would encourage you to really value that and develop it and make a plan that says, okay, in order for me to be able to start this social marketing thing, I need to be generating at least $5,000 a month automatically from my business, and then make that happen. And when that's happening, then you're going to have a little bit more peace of mind, let's say, to move in and try to experiment with the new business, right? Because the new business, you're going to be doing a lot of testing, right? Which customers respond to you? Which products do they want? What advertising medium do they respond to? What sales options? What products and services combination? How to price them? Who's your competition? There's a lot, right? So you can start researching the market and getting to know how you want to position and so on. But in the meantime, I'd recommend you make a plan to hang on to the thing that's providing you income and security and abundance now. Make a plan to automate that before you step into a brand new unknown area, even though I think you're right, there's a demand for it and there's an opportunity, but you may not necessarily have cracked the code yet on how you can serve that market and how you can reach that market. So I would probably advocate that approach, at least think about that approach before you go, you let go of something that's working.
I really appreciate that, and I think that that's very wise opinion, and right now I agree with that.
Good.
I am so now. I probably need a plan to make that happen, and if say put in a time frame of 3 months. To make that happen, if I want to achieve that $5,000 a month, automated in 3 months' time, say by May now, say by September, what do I need to put in place?
Well, I mean that's a big question to ask, right? Because I really don't know yet too much about your business. But here's what I would probably ask you. This is your existing customers. Do you have a list, like a database of your existing customers?
Yes, I do.
Okay, and can you email to them or market to them actively? Do you have their permission to do that?
Yes, I do.
Okay, excellent. And are they good candidates for information products? And you've probably been providing them tax planning services. Are they good candidates for any kind of information product?
Some of them do, because I just tested and I wrote a little ebook called 5 Common Mistakes that small businesses make and how to avoid them. And I've got a small list from that. It's only 20, I think it's 25 people from that ebook. And plus, some of the email addresses that I have for my existing business, I can put together about a list of 40 people there that I can start with.
40, like 40?
40.
40. Okay. So you're going to need
And I know that they want to hear from me.
Okay. So here's what I think I would recommend you think about doing. So first of all, since you're wanting to create recurring income, like a monthly income, it's not normally the place I would start, but maybe you want to consider this, is ask yourself the question, the people that you serve right now, what is it that they want so much from you? Like, what is it that you help them do? What's your expertise? And what would be valuable enough for them to pay, for example, I don't know. By the way, are these individuals or are they businesses? Businesses, great. So what would the average business owner be willing to pay to you, say $25 or $50 a month, that has tremendous value to them, that you could create a service or an information product or something that they would be interested in joining the membership and pay you on a recurring basis?
Okay.
What do you think that might be? Do you have any idea?
I have some ideas. There's
Okay.
some questions that people keep asking me. Yes, I do.
Okay, good. So here's what I would, just as a starting place. This is, off the top of my head, it certainly isn't the necessarily where you'll wind up. But what I would think about is if you want to start recurring income, and let's say that you say you want $5,000 a month, right? And let's say that so what is that, 5,000? And let's say that you are going to find a way to get a $50 a month recurring service or product, information, and whatever else. So let's say that means you need 100 people to join this membership. And then I would ask myself, well, what is it that people would be willing to pay $50 a month for, a business owner? And would it involve any kind of bookkeeping? Would it involve access to me, that they could ask questions by email? Would it be tax and financial information and tips? I would just write down all the things you can think of that if they had to pay them independently, it may cost them, say $250 to $500 a month. But because they're part of the membership, you can deliver them as a group, and so they save a lot of money over the independent pricing, and you get the recurring amount. And so I think for me, that's probably where I would start asking the questions. What could I do? What do my people need that they spend money on all the time? But for example, in my case, right, I pay a monthly bookkeeping fee, but I also have the ability to call my accountant, who actually is a tax advisor, and I can ask him questions. Now, if I had to do that separately, I would have to pay him $250 an hour. But because I'm a regular client and I pay him monthly to do my books, he takes my calls, right? So in essence, I'm paying like $300 a month, $350 a month for the bookkeeping and everything else. But I also have access to his expertise and his staff, right? And if I need any kind of interpretation of the tax code or anything like that, they give that to me for free. So it's not a formal membership. But because I'm a client paying, $350 a month for bookkeeping and everything, then by default I get all of this. Now, if he formalized that and he said to all his clients, look, pay me $350 a month, not only will I do your bookkeeping, but you have access to me, and you have tax law interpretation. And anytime there's a new tip or technique or way to take advantage of tax law changes, I'll email you with the updates so that you're current. I'll give you strategic recommendations and all that kind of stuff. Well, I would probably say, well, I'm going to pay that money anyway, so why not? I'll join the membership, and then you can make it intentional that they pay, right? So I think this is probably where I would start brainstorming if I were in your boots.
Okay, all right.
How does that sound? Is that anywhere along the lines that might be interesting to you?
Yes, because I can see that I can do it. I can start it. I don't know whether clients will respond to that, but I can I can make an offer.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I can,
And you could
that's
do the
my
things
goal.
that we talked about. You know how we talk about doing the interviews of your people and asking them the things that they most value about your service, or the things that they pay. Like you might say, in terms of your finance and accounting, what do you pay for every month? Like, what are the things that absolutely are important to you? And would it be important to you if you had, access to an expert or updates on the law, and interview the 40 people that you have and see if you can come up with a real exciting package where they feel like they're paying a fraction of what they would need to pay, and they're getting the value that, 5-10 times the value, and you are making it up and being able to deliver it to a group rather than to an individual.
Right. So, I interview with my existing accounting clients. I can call them and talk to them.
Sure.
But for people who opted in to get my ebook, how do I contact them? Do I send them an email with some incentive for them to take a survey, or?
Sure. You can just email them or put it in your autoresponder and say, I'm always interested in getting to know my clients personally. It's really important that I know that the service I'm bringing to you is what you're looking for, and I want to know more about your business so that I can improve my service offerings. It would be my pleasure if we could speak for 10 or 15 minutes so I can find out, what is most valuable to you. And if you'll do that, then I'll give you XYZ for free or whatever. And talk to as many of them that will call you. Talk to them, as many of them that are willing to have that conversation. Now, here's another thing that you'll want to think about. If you want to sell 100 of these, let's say that you have an offer that converts, you want to do this divided by, you have an offer that converts at 10%, okay? And then you have like an opt-in page, for example, that converts at 20%, and you want to then, this is saying 1,000, so it looks like you need to get about 20,000 clicks to your opt-in page. I think that's 20,000, not 2,000, right? Because of the 20,000, then let's say 20% of them are going to opt in, right? So what is that for? I think I did the math wrong. So it's 100 at 10% is 1,000 times 20. Yeah, it's 20,000. So if you get 20,000 people, and 20% of them, I think the math is wrong, but never mind, you get the idea. And 20% of them opt in, and then 10% of them take your offer, then you're going to have your 100 members. So don't underestimate the amount of people who have to see your opt-in page. Okay, 40 people is not going to do it. You should aim to do between 1,000 to 2,000 people on your list first. Then create an offer for this, and what I would do is I would run a little product launch. I would call it a charter membership offer, and I would introduce the program to these 2,000 people on my list, and I would say, my goal is that this is going to be, let's say, $500 a month, but right now it's a charter membership price. If you get in now, you get it for $250 a month, and it will never go up for as long as you're a continuous member. And then run a little 4 or 5 day launch to the list of 1 to 2,000 people. If you convert these at 10%, you're going to have 100 to 200 people.
Right. So the first thing that I need to do is to build my list up to 1,000 to 2,000 first before I can do this. Because with my list right now, the size is too small for this type of launch, right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
No.
And really, for your benefit as well, right? You don't want to go through all the trouble of creating this membership and only have 5 or 10 people there, right? That's not going to be worth it for you. So, so while you're building your list, talk to as many people on the list as possible and come up with a great membership, a great monthly program. And then when you reach this level, run a little launch and see if you can get 50, 100, 150 people to say yes.
Okay. Right. Now, to build a list to 1,000 to 2,000, what is the
okay, and I would say the same thing to you that I mentioned to Trevor earlier. Ask yourself who your audience is. Ask yourself where are they online. Do the keyword research, and then follow the traffic plan in the action coaching checklist.
Sorry, say it again. I didn't listen to the full conversation you had before.
Okay, so you can. The main thing is you want to know who your avatar is and where they are online.
Yep.
Okay, and then you want to take advertising in the areas that they're online. The fastest way to grow this list is to pay for your advertising. And if you don't want to
Right.
pay for it, then you can do the SEO, but it's going to take a little bit longer. But if you have a goal to do this in 3 months, then I would look at paying the advertising. And you can look at pay per click. You can definitely look at Facebook, because Facebook is a really effective way to do things now, and it's usually cost effective. And then of course you can always look at YouTube, search engines, blogs, the free advertising as well. But definitely give a little bit of pay-per-click. And then, by the way, the other thing you could do is, if you want to, you could do some banner advertising on business sites, and bring them to the opt-in page and build that list as soon as you can. Okay, so
Right.
think about where your audience is online, do the keyword research so you know who they are and what they're looking for, and then go through the checklist here and follow the paid traffic and the free traffic plan.
Right. How do I know? How is there anywhere in there it shows me how do I find the answer to where are they congregate
Well,
online?
I mean, it does. What it does is it tells you that you need to figure that out, right? But this is the best, because it's different for everybody, right? It's different for every industry. So you have to do a little bit of research. But what you can do is just kind of put yourself in the mind of your customer, and just imagine, like, where do they go online, and what are they looking for? What sites do they visit? What keywords do they type? Like if you're looking, probably if I was in Google, I would say, small business, financial, let's call it tax services, and then maybe forum. Okay, so here's a small business forum. I would look there to see. Accounting and bookkeeping and small business forum, I would look there. Payroll, tax, all of these that are forums, these are places that you might advertise. You could look at discussion groups. Okay. You could look at magazines.
Yep. No, the services I am offering here is, because it's tax, it's mainly tax planning. It's more applicable to the Australian market than the global market. So I was still, when I look for it online, I still do the same thing. Do I have to add in Australia or something?
Yeah,
Because
yeah, definitely. You want to look at Australia, and the other thing you could do is, if you go to the advanced search here. See, already I'm seeing Gold Coast, Australian business magazines, and so on, right? So already it's more relevant to you. But you could go into the advanced search, and you could filter here by region, right? You can say Australia. Okay. But the key thing here is, notice that what I'm doing is I'm looking for magazines, I'm looking for forums, I'm looking for blogs, I'm looking for associations, everything that I can think of. So I'm going to use my keyword, whatever I think that might happen to be, and then I'm going to say,
Yep.
I want to, or e-zines. This is another thing, right? You could look at articles, right? And all of these will help you to zone in on where your audience hangs out. And you might find, for example, if you say forum, okay, Small Business Forum Australia, boom, there's a perfect place, right? So I would probably go here, and I would look to see if they have any advertising. A lot of forums allow advertising. If they don't allow see, here you go, right here. See, this is an ad. So you could place an ad for your business right here. Right on the forum where people are going for small business advice, from the micro community. This is because and by the way, look, 36,141 members. And so these are qualified prospects for you. And so it would be worth taking an ad so that they see your ad here. It's a solo ad, right? You get the full image. And when people come here to, here's the income tax for a sole trader. So you're in Australia, you're in an Australian small business forum, and your ad appears next to somebody who's looking for tax information as a small business owner in Australia. You can't get any better than that.
Right. Now, and the purpose of the ad is to build the list, right?
Yep, absolutely. Offer them something for
So I have
free.
to give something out, give some valuable content for free and all that to ask people to opt in.
Yep, exactly. So what
Yep.
you will do in your advertising is you'll have something like this: join us, it's free, and then talk. Now your ad is not going to say join us, it's free. Your ad is going to say small business owners. The critical report every small business owner must read to pay as little tax as possible, or to avoid the mistakes that can cripple your business. And then they click over and they'll come to your opt-in page where you offer them the report in exchange for their name and email address.
Okay. Yep, I got it. Yeah, and all those ideas that you just told me there, it went through very quickly. It's all in the checklist and in the action training session.
Yeah, I mean,
in there that I can.
yeah, I would start there. Go and have a look through there, and then if you have more questions or you want me to dig a little deeper on any one of them, then come back on another call and we can dig deeper once you've had a chance to go through the training.
I also get access to Guru what is it? Blueprint.
Not. I don't know. Everybody came in through different places, right? Some people came in through Guru Mastermind, some through Blueprint or whatever. So you'll have to talk to your rep about that. I'm not sure what programs you have. A Guru Blueprint, I don't think, is part of Action Coaching Club, but you may have.
No, I have access to that.
Perfect.
I know all the places that all the members, Evans memberships that I get access to, and Guru Blueprint is one of them.
Perfect. So do the part about niche research, and there should be some traffic tips there. But I know for sure we did a little bit of traffic generation training in Action Coaching Club, and there'll be more to come. But look, for example, on article marketing, do the niche research, and there's one particular here that let me think. Well, anyway, just go through the training, and anything that talks about here's not this blog, there's another one. Where's the one? Okay, so keywords and SEO, you definitely want to get that one. And grow your business. The other thing I would suggest you look at is the wagon wheel. Which
the wagon wheel.
Yeah, this one here, the web wagon wheel. Is that shows you, where the blogs and opt-in sales letter shows you the relationship of how they all work together, so you can develop that kind of structure. Okay.
No, my next question is...
Okay, we're out of time.
Can you have a look at my...
We're out of time, unfortunately, so I have to move on. So save your question for next week. I'll look forward to talking with you. Do you think you have a pretty good action plan going forward from here, at least what your next steps are?
I think it's getting clearer now.
Beautiful.
And I can get more clarity. So thank you very much for that.
My pleasure, and I hope you'll come back and check in and let us know where you're at, and let me support you a little bit more next time once you've had a chance to go and try some of these things.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Thanks, Lou.
Thanks, Jane.
Bye.
Bye-bye. All right. Ulrika, please raise your hand. Oh, never mind. I see you here. It's nice when the caller ID works. Hi, Ulrika.
Hi, can you hear me?
I can indeed. How are you?
Great. I'm fine, thank you, and I'm also surprised. And how are you?
I'm getting better every day.
Good. You're coughing a bit too much, but not that it's disturbing. I'm just worrying about your lungs.
I know. Thank you. I'm getting better every day, my dear.
Good. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. My excuse is I didn't expect to be chosen, and I'm very pleased to have the chance. Somehow I thought that I would be, if I would have some kind of notice or something, and so I haven't prepared much, but I put something together and sent by email while you were talking to Trevor.
Okay.
So I have my URL there and some of my marketing plan.
Okay.
Because I'm not very prepared. I'm sorry, but there's lots we can talk about here anyway. So.
Well, you sent me something that said you want your sales funnel reviewed, right?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So let's spend a little time
So
doing that.
maybe not necessarily the sales funnel, but the whole, maybe my whole vision of my business. We could have a look at that.
Okay. Well, we're going to have like 15, 20 minutes. So can you drill me down a little bit? Focus me on what's most important for you.
Right now. it's beginning to take shape a little bit. I'm still not selling very much, but I can see in my Aweber here that I probably sold something today, which is really nice.
Very good. Congratulations.
And so I just finished preparing the autoresponder series with some video content for my 2 lists, and I'm pretty pleased with that, because once that's automated, it will kind of start working without me being there. So that's what I need. I'm not sort of waiting for 1,000 people on the list to try to sell something. I'm trying to catch people when they come by, because my market is more like I need it now.
Yeah, the 1,000 people on your list is for a launch, but you can certainly, you absolutely should be selling individual products along the way if you can. So that's great.
And I do it a little bit in a launch style, as you mentioned before, to send them first 3 emails to prepare them with good content, and then 100% content in the 4th.
Excellent.
And then another series like that. So.
Okay, good. Is that working out for you? Are you tracking the conversions on that?
I'm just finished those things, so I'm not tracking the conversions yet. Not that I have it clearly, established, but that's something I should do, definitely, yes.
Okay.
And my other list, when you look at my homepage, I have the first video is selling the opt-in, the opt-in, which is a book, and the second video is selling the home study course. So those are my 2 main lists, and I treat them differently in the autoresponder. So the people who ask for more information on the home study course, I immediately send them the link to the mini site with an email and autoresponder, and hopefully the sales funnel does the job for us. So so this is the setup right now. I'm pretty pleased with the mini sales site, other than maybe the sales letter is not maybe optimized, because Nicole actually, she's rewriting everything, and she doesn't want to have anything to do with video and video sales letters and having a guarantee there, and she writes everything in her language, so it's not very good, but I can't do really much about it right now. So. Once we start selling more, maybe I can shut her up a bit more. She's a little bit domineering right now about what it should look like to be professional, so I have to make do with that.
It's tough dealing with an expert, isn't it?
Yeah. But I mean, I think the market is there, and we have a machine now that can work for us, so I don't get hung up on different
absolutely.
hurdles on the way, just try to keep tracking and
as what you're doing starts to become increasingly successful, I'm sure she'll see your way more and more.
Yeah.
Okay. Probably. So what about this can I give you feedback on? Is there anything?
So let me tell you what. We're not selling very much yet. We're not very good at that yet. List building is starting. We have about 75 people on those 2 lists. I have about 3,300 people who come by the blog. Since April and May, I have 570 per month. So it seems like it's picking up.
Okay. Do they those visitors to the blog, is that to the home page or to any page on the blog?
They go to different pages, but most of them go always to home page.
Okay.
And then other pages too. They look at the blog. They look at we have other articles there, and so.
And do you know how they're getting there? Are they getting there from the search engines? Are they getting there from your articles? How do they reach you?
I think they go from the video sites where we have lots of videos posted, YouTube and Dailymotion and Facebook. We have quite a few video views. I haven't checked for the last maybe 4 days now how they've grown, but they started to grow quite quickly.
Are you running? Do you have analytics on this site?
On my blog?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And have you checked your analytics stats to see where the source of the traffic comes, and what your most popular destination pages are?
My weakness is a little bit understanding what I'm seeing. I'm right now inside of the blog in the site stats, and I see the referrals. I see the pages that they look at, top posts and pages. So I have a long list of those, and it's always more or less the same, but they almost go to all the pages.
Yeah, but what are the okay, so they're more or less the same, but you do have what's at the top of the list of the entry pages, the landing pages.
Well, the home page.
The home
because
page, yeah.
that's-
Okay.
Because that's where they land first of all, and that's where we have the the linking to
Yep,
to
yep.
this list and so on.
Okay.
But they
And-
do go to the others also. It seems like this site, kind of is interesting for, quite a few people.
Okay, but we're not converting very well on the opt-in. So that's what I'm focusing on right now. Is if you've got 3,300 people a month coming in there, it would be nice to add three.
Not that many. That's since I started 8 months ago.
Oh, okay. Okay.
3,300 since I started, but since April and May I have 560 people.
Okay, so still, it would be nice to get 40, 50 people a month from there added to your list, right? Yeah. So those videos that you have and the articles that you write or something, are you driving people to your homepage?
Yes.
Okay. So what I'd like you to consider doing is driving people to a dedicated opt-in page rather than to your homepage. Because, see, the problem with this homepage is that I have too many nice things that I can do. I can watch this video, I can watch that video, maybe I can opt in here, but I'm not ready to opt in because there's all this free stuff, and I want to look to see who I'm dealing with, and I want to read the articles because I'm looking for information. So lots of temptation, and the fact that they're going to all these other pages is probably validating that they're not spending enough time dedicated for an opt-in. So one optimization I would test right away is to make your videos and your articles point to a specific blog post or to an opt-in page where they don't have all of these options, but they are prompted as much as possible to actually make one decision, which is, do you want to give me your name and email address or not? Now, once they do that, you can direct them to your blog, and they can surf around and look around all they want. But if you can get your articles and your videos to bring them to a page that's dedicated to getting their name and email address, I think that's going to help increase the list of the size of the list.
Good. Okay. Would you use the book opt-in, or would you show them the DVD home study course, which is a full?
No, I wouldn't show them the home study course yet because I don't know that they're ready to buy yet. They don't know.
$250.
Yeah, I would go for the opt-in first, and then you have them on your list, and you can promote the DVD stuff to them, over and over and over again until they're ready to buy. So I always recommend you build the list primarily, and then when they get to know, like, and trust you, and then you show them the sales letter, they might be more inclined to say yes at that point. But if you bring them straight to a sales letter and they just finished watching a video, well, first of all, if the video says, oh, go over and watch my sales letter, well, you're going to get a lot fewer people going there. And if your video says go over and get something for free, well, you have to sort of give them something for free. So the recommendation I would make is offer them something in your advertising, whether it's an article or Facebook post, a YouTube video, whatever. If for example, let's say you wanted to get them, remember we always talk about the most wanted outcome. So let's just go to this thing here, the free page. Okay, now is this talking about this? Like the video is talking about this book?
Yeah, this first video is talking about the book.
Okay, this is a great page to bring people to, and I would actually make this video autoplay, so when they land here, it immediately starts to play, and I'm assuming that what it does is encourages them to opt in for the book, right?
That's right.
Yeah. So what I would do is I would look through this book and I would pull out the top 5 or 6 or 10 or 12 important things that you want to teach people, or that the book teaches them to do, and then I would write a video around each one of those, or do a video and talk about, okay, point 1, one of the biggest challenges men have in this way is XYZ, and a little known technique is actually, this is what most people try and they find it doesn't work, but actually there's a little known technique that works for everyone. If you go to my, here's what it is, and by the way, this is only one of 12 things that we teach in the book, and you can get yours absolutely free. Click here. And then they come to this page and they're encouraged to opt in. Now, ideally, you would not even have these navigation links at the top, ideally. But it's not the end of the world because the rest of the page is designed to really focus on getting them to opt in. So this looks like a pretty good landing page
And those videos that you mentioned, I would post them on YouTube and Facebook and so on, or where would I put them on the site, on the page?
No, you would put them on they would be your marketing video. They would be like
okay.
your freeline content.
All right.
So everywhere, Facebook, YouTube,
Dailymotion, and
everywhere,
YouTube.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
Okay, and that will help a lot. That will give them, the very first thing that they're faced with is, hey, I'm going to get something really valuable for free, and then the download page, or after they opt in, they can look around your blog and your products and everything for as long as they want. Key thing is now you've got them on the list, and they'll go through an autoresponder sequence, which hopefully leads them into the introducing the DVD home study course for them.
Okay. People even find this stuff, on other people's sites, and then they find Nicole's name, on the web, and write to her personal email, long letters explaining their stories, what they've been through, and so on and so forth. And they're interested in knowing more, and so there is, there is a lot of interest around, and our stuff has already been spread, so that's kind of encouraging. I find.
That's great. That's great.
But then again, I also, when I observed this example of this person who contacted her yesterday, it somehow tells me also that they are shy to give their email address, and they want to talk to her directly.
Yeah, but if they send her an email, they are giving their email address, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know what I would do in that case? I would tell Nicole to stop using that email for herself to read email anymore, and I would put an autoresponder on it, and I would say, hi, this is Nicole, thank you so much for your email. Right now I'm unable to reply to my email personally, but here's a series of questions most people ask and the answers to them, and here's what I'd like you to do. Read through this, and then I've taken the most important questions that I think are really going to help you. Have this great technique, and I put it all into a book, so until I have a chance to contact you or that we can meet in person, please go and download this book instantly. I think you'll find it of tremendous value and relief to you. And by the way, know that you will, give your email address, but it is held in 100% complete confidence. It will never be shared with anyone. But the information in there is so valuable. I think you can benefit, because we may not talk for another month or two, but you can get immediate help and relief right now. And I would put that in the email autoresponder and tell her not to bother reading that email anymore. Open up a new email for herself privately.
Okay. Sounds like a very good idea.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad I have the replay after, because the way you say it is so well done. It's amazing. I'm going to copy all of it.
Oh, thank you. Yep. So those are some pretty good things to do. Now, I would ask, once they opt in, do you have a nice sort of autoresponder sequence that leads them to the home study course when they opt in here?
Yes.
Good. Excellent.
Yeah. I think I'm actually quite pleased with it. I put a lot of time on it, but I said to myself, it's it's sales copy. It's very important. So
good. Yeah.
I did work on it a lot.
Excellent.
And it has video where she's teaching, and she's very convincing when she uses her body language and everything. She's very trustworthy. You feel that you can trust her. So it's more convincing even than me speaking or writing.
Fantastic.
But I do write also around it, so that we have both.
Yeah, brilliant idea. I like it. Good job. And are you doing any kind of paid advertising to support the free advertising you're getting?
Well, that's what I have wanted to do since a long time, but I haven't gotten myself to do it yet. I have too much going on.
Sure.
I'm a bit too slow
No, that's okay. You're doing
what
great.
I would like to. But I think I should add on Facebook, put an targeted ad on Facebook, and also I think I should add some kind of a specialized press that is targeted to a whole different audience, more like young businessmen. I think that's another market that probably would be quite interested in the product and can afford it.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't really found where exactly it would be, but offline probably, just to test offline how it is, response, and then maybe try blogs and maybe some sites, specialized sites where I could put an ad for.
Yeah, I think that will probably be something that it would be easier for you, just because of the nature of the topic here. Facebook and Google and so on, they get really antsy about these kinds of sexual topics, and even though you're being very positive and very professional and medical about it, it's one of those things that freaks them out a lot.
Oh yeah.
So you may find that they don't know how to deal with this, and you may have to work with them a little bit. But on the other hand, if you find blogs and discussion groups and places online that have this kind of content, and they happen to take advertising, I think that would be a great thing for you to look for.
Okay. And then another place that I think I would really maybe do well is on Amazon, and the webinar you had the other night there was really an eye opener for me, because I think that's a place where people would look for that kind of product that I have. So
Totally.
I think that's definitely would market for me. Even if they take half of the money, it's even worth it, because they are so big and they market so well. And so many people go there.
And listen, especially on Kindle, right? Because now they don't even have to have anything floating around for other people to see. It's in their Kindle, so nobody but them sees it. So that's an even better opportunity. Yeah, that's a great idea. All right, my dear, that sounds good. Sounds like you're making a lot of progress. With these couple of tweaks, I would say really focus on building that list. Continue to emphasize that, and see if you can find new lead sources. And if you drive them to the opt-in page, hopefully we'll start to see 10-15% of the people opting in, and all of them will go through your autoresponder sequence, and then we'll have some good numbers to see how that sales sequence converts.
When you say 10 to 15% of people opting in, of people who are coming to the blog, you mean?
People who are coming to this landing page.
Okay.
Yeah. We'd like to get this, if all of you, think about, for the next little while, think about all of your ads, all of your Freeline videos, everything drives people to this offer. And play with the video, and play with the bullets, and play with the offer until it's doing 10, 15, 20% conversion for you. And then you'll feel even more comfortable increasing your lead generation.
So how do I understand the stats to know that page is giving those opt-ins? Let me see. I have to know how many people come to that page to be able to know my percentage from.
Yeah, I mean, the easiest way is this Aweber that you're using by any chance?
Yes.
Yeah. So Aweber will tell you the number of times this form is displayed compared to the number of times that people subscribe. And you can use that as your guide. It's not 100%, right? Because I've just been on it 3 times now, so 3 or 4 times. So there's going to probably be more page views, but there is a thing there that they call unique visits, unique displays, UD, divided by S, subscriptions. That's the one you want to look for. How many people visited the site uniquely, how many times that was displayed to a unique visitor, and the total number of subscriptions. And that's the percentage that will tell you the conversion rate.
Okay. See, I think I need another package then. I need
No, you're good.
I have the basic package.
Yep, you're
Do
good.
I have unique views?
Yep, you're good.
Okay.
Yeah, it's part of the basic for sure.
Would you recommend that I took the other package?
No, it's okay. Not until you have a bigger list. I think you're going to be fine. I still use the basic package myself, to be honest, because as much as the other functionality is really interesting and valuable, I just don't have the time or the inclination to use it. I do very basic testing, and so I think you're going to be fine, at least for another little while. Now, as your list starts to grow and you want to optimize your open rate and your click-throughs and your follow-up, then sure, but by that time you'll be making money, and you can justify the extra monthly cost. But for now, you're going to be just fine with the basic.
Great. Okay.
All right.
Well, that was really, really, really helpful.
Good.
Thank you so much.
You are most welcome. It's good to talk with you again. Been a while.
Thank you. Yes, it's been a while.
Okay. Take good care.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, so we have a few minutes left, and so what I'm going to do real quick is a couple of things. Let me clear the questions that are here in the Q&A box to begin with. So we have Suling that says, I think this was probably for Trevor. Have a look at the website for Beyond Blue in Australia. This deals with depression, etc. I know there's a masculine audience for that. Okay, let's see, Beyond Blue. Okay, so Trevor, if you want to have a look at this and get ideas, yeah, I can see a lot of guy pictures here and so on. And the whole color scheme, the blue with the gold and guys pictured here, this is probably a little bit more focused on the male visitor. So, yeah, good point. Thanks, Yuling. Says Lou, my position is like Jane. I am productizing my financial consulting business and building the social media marketing business, and I am very stretched. Yeah, and I would really offer you the same ideas that I was sharing with Jane. These are it may be the same avatar, but from your side, the marketing, the message, the product creation, it's very, very different. So you may want to unstretch yourself and practice one, get it working, and then it's actually easier once you have a working sales funnel and a process for converting leads to from converting visitors to leads to customers. It's actually then quite a bit easier to take that and map it into a new product line than it is to try to develop both at the same time. So I highly encourage you to do them in sequence rather than in parallel. Trevor says, thanks. Okay, you're welcome. There you go. And Suling says, now this was probably for when we were talking about to Jane about looking for communities of folks that could be an audience for you. There's quite a good community for freelancers on Flying Solo, says Suling. So I'm not sure what that is, but let's have a look. Australia's community for micro business owners, and features a directory, forums, article, and advice. That's awesome. That's a great resource. There you go. Oh, that's the one we were looking at, as it turned out, which happened to be, I came to it through the Google search engines. I didn't even realize that. There you go. Yep. So that's the perfect. This is the perfect kind of place that you want to look for placing an ad, and you'll notice the technique we used was just to emphasize, to put the keyword phrase and then to emphasize with a plus sign. If you don't know what that means, like in Google, when you have the plus sign, it means that that word must appear in the search results. And so you're saying, here are my keywords, and I only want the things that say forum in the search results as well. And that's a great way to put forum. And by the way, you could put forum, e-zines, discussion groups, websites, blogs, whatever it is you want to look for. That's a great little Google advanced trick is the word I'm looking for. Okay, good. So let me see. I am not excelling because Suling says, I'm not excelling because it stretches the imagination for people to see how finance and social media combine inside one person. Yeah, see, that's a really good point, right? So if somebody who's looking for a tax expert, sees you as sort of a bridge between tax and social media, and they think, I'd rather talk to a tax expert, and vice versa. Yeah, so she's saying being very careful to keep the branding separated. You can be careful, but if you do that, then you're going to have, again, 2 different marketing campaigns, 2 different blog sites, 2 different wagon wheels. You're going to be duplicating your entire business. And here's the thing: it's really important for you to know this, that when you're working on 2 things in parallel, you think you're spending 50% on one and 50 on the other. It actually isn't going to work that way, because for you to shift gears and start thinking about a new market and remember your keywords and remember your avatars, you'll find that it takes about probably 25% more. So instead of 100% of the time, you'll need 150% of the time, which means that instead of, like, if it's going to take you 2 months, you work on one business for a month and the next business and the other business the next month. If you do them at the same time, it'll take you 3 months instead of 2, if you know what I mean. So multitasking is a myth, right? We talked about that at one point, and I really want you to know that you'll probably come out ahead if you do things in sequence rather than in parallel, unless they're highly complementary or unless you have teams that you can outsource and they're independently working on their own focus. Okay, it's really, for the small business entrepreneur especially, really important stuff, because we are stretched in every way, right? Our resources are stretched in every conceivable way. All right, well, we have a bunch of strategy requests. One thing I wanted to talk about, and I'm not going to be able to handle all of these, so we'll probably leave these until next Thursday, but one question has been around for a while that I meant to answer. Let me just see. Yeah, I'm not seeing it now, so it must have gone someplace. All right, well, I'm just going to do that, and I'll have it ready for the next time. But here's what I remember about the question, so I'll speak to it a little bit briefly, and I'm sorry I don't remember who asked me about it yet, but it was a question of what did Eben mean when he's talking about the autoresponder sequence that that sort of simulates or mimics the conversation that you would have with someone from the time you met them to the time they purchase your product. And really, you know, I don't know how much more I could really elaborate than to say, whoops, let me erase all this. So the question really was, what does Eben mean by that? And it's really pretty much as self-evident as it sounds. So in other words, if you were, you know, standing in line at the local coffee shop and you met someone and they happen to be interested or maybe prospects for what you do. In other words, they had some level of interest, you think they may have a need for what you do and so on. And then you imagine that, you know, this is a complete stranger at this point. What would you do if you had to have, you know, 1, 2, let's say 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 consecutive conversations with this person? You know, what would you do? Would you start off with, hey, you want to buy my product? Or would you start off by saying, hey, you know, I help people like you who have the problem that you do, and you know, I have this really interesting report that helped me a lot, helps my clients a lot. You know, I'd be really interested if you gave it a shot, look it over and see if it's helpful for you, right? And that's the first content, and then you follow up and say, and let's say that this is Joe. And then the second time, you know, a few days later, you might follow up and say, hey, Joe, did you get a chance to read that report? What did you think about it? Is there anything did you notice, by the way, in chapter 2, that really interesting technique? Did you get a chance to use that? Well, let me just remind you real quickly about how it works and how it worked for me and the latest result I've gotten. So I think it really helped you a lot. Why don't you go have a look at that? And by the way, that also refers to a tool to make it easier for you to implement that. Here's a link for you. I have access to that tool. I want to share it with you. You can have it for free because I really want you to implement, you know, point 7 in chapter 3 of the report that I gave you. And then the next one is, hey Joe, just wanted to let you know that tool that I sent you, there's a new version of it. It does a whole bunch of other stuff, and I thought maybe if you got a chance to use the other one, let me just walk you through a couple of videos and show you how I use it. So this is what I'm trying to do. You know, I'm trying to get new leads, and this is how the tool works. This is how most other people use it, and you know, this is how I use it, and these are the kinds of results I get. So why don't you take this little, you know, step-by-step instruction guide and see how it works for you? And then step 4 might be, Joe, just wanted to let you know if you found that tool to be really handy. I happen to have a thing going with the guy who creates the tool, or if it's your tool, Joe, I'm just running a promotion, and I don't know if you had a chance to use the tool, if you had some results, but can you go back and watch that video training I was showing you last time we talked? And if you can get it to work for you, you know, I've arranged for you to access the tool and the training and a couple of coaching calls with me, and you know, we just met, so I don't want, you know, I want to give you something before I ask for something in return, and I just really want to offer you this at my cost. And so instead of the $250 that everybody else is paying, just to get you going, you know, just to help you get started and just to show you what I can do for you, you know, if you'll help me pay the marketing and shipping costs, $25, I'll let you get access to it right away. Right, and so you just imagine that this conversation is going on, and then what you do is, and let's say that that's leading to a sale here of the, you know, the home study course. So now you've helped them identify. Now what you're doing here is you're building authority and reciprocity, right? And of course liking and commitment and consistency, right? And after you've given them stuff and you've taught them stuff and you showed them that you're good at what you do and you have some tools and resources and they've gotten some good value from you, then it makes sense to say, hey, listen, here's what I offer my clients, and here's something I think you can use that's going to help you get done what you want to get done. And then this becomes the so-called promo, right? And here, now at the promo, you can start introducing things like, okay, so by the way, here you would introduce social proof, right? Here's what it's done for me. Here's what it's done for my clients. So the first 4, 5, or 6 messages are really the front end of your sales letter, aren't they? You're building relationship and rapport. You're establishing authority. You're showing them that you understand what they're trying to accomplish. You're giving them stuff, a whole bunch of free-line content and training, so you're establishing reciprocity. You tell them about the product, right? And then you tell them how that product works for you and for your clients for some social proof. And then you run a little promotion and you say, hey, if all that stuff makes sense to you, you've had a chance to try it and it works, I'm running this little promotion, here's the deal. And now you want to build in the urgency, right? Give them a great offer and make sure you build in a little urgency, a little scarcity, so that they're motivated to act quickly. And that's your autoresponder sequence, right? And now, this is not the only way to do an autoresponder sequence, but I believe this is the one that Eben's trying to sort of talk about, how you can build a relationship naturally as though you were talking to people individually, to lead from the first meeting and make it just a natural conversation between friends that in and of itself evolves to the point where it makes sense. You know, it's almost like at this point your reader is almost at the point where they want to say to you, hey, do you have a product or service that you can help me with this? Because this is really good stuff. I want to implement it in my business. And that's what you're doing for the first 5 or 6 messages, leading naturally to the place where it makes sense to introduce your product and make an offer. Okay, so that's the way I interpret. Now, by the way, I don't know if I'm even thinking about the very same training, because you didn't mention the specific video or anything, but I do remember Eben talking about this, and this is kind of the way I look at it and sort of my interpretation of his training. So hopefully that helps. And I wish I could remember who asked me the question, but hopefully you're watching this video and you remember you asked the question, and it was a couple of weeks ago, so I wanted to make sure that I got to it before we close tonight. Okay? All right, so here we're at 9:30, and if I get into the mailbag, we're going to be here for a lot longer, so I'm going to just stop right there, and we'll do the rest of the mailbag on our next coaching call, which will be next Thursday. And watch your email. There'll be an announcement about the training for Monday. Thanks for everybody who joined us and allowed us to sit in and watch you as you walk through your strategy reviews. I don't know about you, but every time I do these, I learn a lot about my business, your business, and it's great to listen to other people's thought processes, see how they're approaching their markets, and so on. So I hope that first of all, I hope that if you were on the strategy call, you got a lot of value out of it. And also, if you were listening to the strategy calls, that you equally got a lot of value out of it. So until we meet the next time, I want to say thanks for being here. Because you're here, I get to do this work, which is fun and fulfilling. And I really appreciate you allowing that for me. And I will look forward to catching you on our next call. Till then, thanks. Good night. Namaste.